This is the first battle of the Total War Center team tournament, a tournament for 2 versus 2 battles with a Pre-Marian Roman theme. That's only units from before the Marius reforms are permitted. Here we see the Brutii, commanded by myself, Cluny the Scourge, on the left, and my ally Selifator on the right, and we are to face our Merko and Mr. Longbowman. Now we've divided responsibilities between us, so that Selifator has taken control of all of the cavalry and archers, while I have taken a force composed entirely of infantry and 2 units of onagers. And our plan is to form one merged force, use our artillery to try to force the enemy to attack us, wear them down with our archers, engage them with our infantry in the centre, and use our cavalry to harass them on flanks. Now, as it happens, our enemies have taken a force composed entirely of infantry and archers, no cavalry whatsoever. They are planning, presumably, to drown us by sheer weight of infantry. Between them they've taken 12 Principes to our 7, 6 Triarii to our 2, and an additional 2 Hastati units. Their archery capabilities the same as ours, 10 units of archers each. They also have 1 unit of velites, but they, as I say, have no cavalry, while we have 10 units of cavalry in total, 6 cavalry auxilia and 4 equites and 2 onagers. Now their choice of army is going to force the Brutii to change their intentions for the use of their cavalry. In Pre-Marian Roman units, cavalry is very weak and is mainly useful for striking at the enemy's archers and other cavalry. Now if they throw everything they have at us here, they should, in theory, be able to simply crush us. Crush our infantry in the centre, especially since we can't leave our artillery without abandoning it, since it moves so slowly. So instead we're going to have to use our cavalry, as you see here, to try to harass the enemy infantry as it approaches, to occupy their attention for as long as possible and keep some of their units away from the main fray. Here you can see that we've formed one merged battle force between the two players. The enemy, on the other hand, have taken a different approach of taking their 2 armies to deploy against us independently. Now, as you can see, our plan to compel the enemy to attack us by using our artillery is working. Our cavalry here is drawing away some of the enemy infantry. Here you're about to see a precipitate and unfortunate cavalry attack on the enemy flank. As it turns out, we should have waited until more of the enemy infantry had been committed in order to make this strike against their archers, since they have very prudently protected their archers with Triarii spearmen. Here you're about to see a clash between light cavalry against heavy spearmen. It's a no-brainer what's going to happen. These cavalry are routed, and they will only become useful to us again once they've regrouped some time later. Now, artillery very rarely actually does all that much damage. It's too wildly inaccurate, but it does have the added value of reducing the enemy's sense of control, so forcing them to lose the initiative. And as you can see, the enemy are indeed sending their infantry into us, which means we're going to get the first pillar throw. In addition, since we have deployed 2 units of town watch on loose formation in front of our main battle line, they will absorb the enemy's pillar when they're set at fire at will, since the enemy always targets the first unit, the closest unit, to them. Here you see the main battle line of the infantry starting to resolve itself, and indeed our activity for of our cavalry behind enemy lines is working, in that it is attracting the attention of some of the enemy infantry and keeping them from swamping us. The enemy have thrown the bulk of their forces into their right, our left, but they're very light on the other wing where our cavalry auxilia were active. Here you see we're about to make a charge against the rear of the enemy infantry using massed cavalry, And normally this is a good idea, it's basic elementary hammer and anvil tactics. However, this being a pre-Marian Roman battle, you have equites there charging into infantry, and they simply don't have a chance. Now, if we are going to break through the enemy infantry battle line, then it's going to be there where they are at their most thin. And indeed, ultimately, it does turn out to be there that the cavalry can actually perform their secondary task of shocking enemy infantry into routing. The cavalry were only able to truly do that aspect of their job after the enemy infantry's commitment was complete. And this was a very dangerous moment for the Brutii. Julii sending in more forces on the right, and you just saw a routing unit there. However, we had a stroke of good luck. Watch the artillery carefully here. Extraordinary. A perfect random shortfall of an incendiary bomb right into the middle of the enemy battle mass, causing 2 units to rout.
The enemy general is running away. The gods be praised.
Now the enemy centre is collapsing there.
His men know their doom approaches.
The enemy tried to plug the gap with their last reserves, which are freed up from the harassment by the cavalry auxilia, but they're just as starty. They're no match for massed principes there. We're bringing in our regrouped cavalry around the flank there, as you can see, ready to wreak havoc on their archers who are supporting their men in the main battle line. And very shortly the Julii are going to find that they will pay the price for their piecemeal commitment of their infantry and their neglect to take any cavalry with their troops. As you can see, we've broken through the centre and the right, and we are rolling up the enemy line, surrounding them. Panic is spreading. The enemy infantry are effectively neutralised at this point. Certainly they are not effective. There you see their general is routing.
The enemy's hearts are full of fear, and now they flee.
And this is always a satisfying moment for a Rome Total War player.
The enemy general is slain.
He is run down and trampled upon.
It is time to
Trampled into strawberry jam.
This is a hope.
Now both these armies are going to fight again. They will each fight the other Roman factions at least once in this Total War Center team tournament.